This is Doctor Strange, issue 38. Doctor Strange, Saucer Pot Supreme. I generally didn't use subtitles when I talk about comics. This is just Doctor Strange to me. But technically, the full title of this comic is Doctor Strange, Saucer Pot Supreme. This is the first part of a story called The Great Fear, a three-parter which is stuck between two Affinity crossovers. And this is a really underserved story. Underserved. I have to point out every time I am saying underserved and not undeserved. 3 parts isn't enough. This is a story with stakes and scope far beyond what we get. We have bad guys who can destroy the entire universe, and they are only given half an issue. This is written by Roger Thomas, who had been writing the series for over 30 issues by this point. And here is Doctor Strange. And our intro scene is Doctor Strange doing mock combat with his magic student, Rintrah. Rintrah is a supporting character in this run. He is a fun character, and he is in essence comic relief, but he serves a greater purpose in the title. He acts as a constant reminder of the fantastical and the weird, and his personality and his attitude help stop the series from ever getting serious to the point of there being no emotion besides seriousness. Rintrah is a great character, which is likely why the boneheads at Marvel killed him the minute Roger Thomas left this series. This is really the last time that you see him. He died, and nobody refers to him again after this page. I only found that out recently too. They pointlessly murder off a bunch of the supporting characters from this run. One of the book's sincere strengths is that it has a surprisingly rich supporting cast. And then half of them get killed, and the other half get kicked out to comic book limbo because the next writer... Well, let's just say, I think when the day comes for me to unbox the Epic Collection with the Doctor Strange stories written by the man who brought us Faust, Love of the Damned, mark your calendars. That is going to be a long fucking video. Not just that it embarrassingly tries to make Doctor Strange into Spawn, but there is no comic I resent more than Faust, Love of the Damned. It is puerile, pathetic trash, and I really hope not a single of my subscribers think that it is art or even anywhere near good. I had to take a break there because the mere thought of Faust, Love of the Damned, would have made this a negative video. Rintrah, he is good, isn't he? He was in Doctor Strange 2, apparently. I didn't know. I don't watch them. Was he any good in it? I doubt it, and I don't really care. The movies are beneath me. As long as we're talking about things that I don't like, Rintrah, he wasn't created by Roger Thomas. He was actually created by Peter Gilbert. Rintrah first appeared in Doctor Strange issue 80, right at the end. And then the next and final issue of the series, it has a whole lot of him in it. He is a mage from another dimension who starts studying further under Doctor Strange. I was originally going to say that the character wasn't much under Peter Gilbert and that it was Roger Thomas who made him work. But looking back at Doctor Strange 81 to get these cutaways, no, I think Peter Gilbert deserves the credit. Rintrah is good fun. Rintrah is the best thing that Peter Gilbert ever gave us. The plot is scattershot. There are too many things for a 3-part story. People on Earth have started having nightmares while they are awake. And so Doctor Strange does what anyone would do to learn more. He puts on the telly and he is tuned in to the Horror Network, which is being hosted by an Elvira type of character called Roadkill. And the nature of Roadkill is confusing. It is very badly handled. Presumably, this is an actor in makeup. Or maybe it is animated, possibly. And I say the latter because the plot with Roadkill is that he comes out of the TV, which is not really a problem if he is an actor. Unless we are saying that the character came to life. And it's not worth getting into what Roadkill is, because he just runs off, and he isn't seen anymore in this story. If you want to see the long-anticipated resolution to what becomes of Roadkill, there is a crap Secret Defenders story with the fucking Punisher on the team, where they fight him. Then, for a few pages, we have Nightmare Man. The plot of this story, which I realise I forgot to explain, is that a bunch of fear-based characters have united with the common goal of sinking Earth into a state of ruin to feed themselves. They want Earth to submit to all fear so that they can maintain their fear diets. Nightmare Man is one of them. He is one of the Fear Lords. And I am not going to get too much into him. The video should be long enough without. I feel anyone watching already knows Nightmare Man's history, and that he is one of 3 characters that could be described as Doctor Strange's archenemy. I would also say he is a character that Nigel Sandman, owes his fucking career to. Nightmare Man's sequence in this issue is a good example of how truncated this story is. We have a major Doctor Strange foe, and he is in 3 pages of it. He does come back later in this story, and this is just set up for that. But this to me feels like a story arc designed to run for like a year and give each of the Fear Lords their own story and give the whole thing some breathing space. So Doctor Strange, he begins to visit the Horror Network after that encounter with Roadkill, and it is there where we are introduced to another of the Fear Lords, Straw Man. Straw Man is the benevolent one. He isn't evil. He actually walked away from the other baddies and their plan. Now he runs the horror network on TV because he wants Earth to appreciate and enjoy controlled dosages of fear, i.e. horror movies and stuff like that. Something to that effect anyway. Strawman, formerly Scarecrow, was a failed horror anthology character from the 70s. He made a couple of appearances in titles that were about to be cancelled, but he never got going. He also lives inside a painting, which this story never mentions. That is a problem though. Strawman is an interesting idea, and some of this stuff about him not being evil and the horror channel, as I said before, it deserves breathing space. These ideas shouldn't be quick asides. They should be given their time. I'm not sure if it is the case that this story is unfortunately stuck between Affinity Gauntlets and Affinity Walls, so it had to be this length, or if Roger Thomas actually fully wanted it to be this unsatisfying. This had been built to in the backup stories from the issues before this, and those nominally introduce the reader to all these characters and their backstories. But it feels a waste when you have Strawman here, or when you have the Lurking Unknown, and they are barely in it. So this here is the Lurking Unknown. And the Lurking Unknown is thankfully fucking easy to fill you in on. He was in 136, Stanley Lee and Jack Quimby. That was his only appearance before this. And he was never fully seen in it. He was always seen covered in shadows, or only from behind, or you would only see a part of them. The Lurking Unknown is another of the Fear Lords, obviously, and he has been sent to stop Strawman from telling Doctor Strange their plans. The Lurking Unknown probably gets the appropriate amount of page time. He is barely a character, hardly defined. We also have a small appearance from D. Spear, who is one of the main bad guys in this. And there is another series that I have been slowly covering, which has a big retcon with this character. And I would rather use that series to talk about than his small appearance in this issue. Doctor Strange and his girlfriend, Rachel McAdams, together they fight the Lurking Unknown, and then they eventually defeat him. And so we have Doctor Strange yelling at the sky, swearing to stop the Fear Lords, slightly blanketed with a nice, almost out-of-place romance bit right at the end. There is a lot going on in this story, and definitely too much. With a better, slower pace and more issues, this could have succeeded as a story. What we have is so brief and quick that the enormity of what we are seeing is made to seem insignificant. Big fear bad guys betraying each other and fighting each other and trying to destroy Earth in the process Shouldn't be something relegated to a scene that is like 4 pages long in the final part. I want to like it for its attempts, but that doesn't seem fair to every other comic that hasn't managed to accomplish what it could. So I have to give this 7 thumbs up.